Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode, the first episode of 2025 of Chan's Bookshelf. I am honored to introduce this book. I hope y'all can see it. It says Sounds Like Joy by Yesenia. Yes, see yours. Yeah, mine is blurring, uh, but there we go. There we go. So you did. I will say this. Can you introduce yourself and what you do a lot? So introduce yourself and tell the audience what you do.
So my name is Yesenia Moises, and I am an author, illustrator, and toy designer. Um, I am, yes, I have a degree in that. That's what I went to school for, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But I have a new book out now called Sounds Like Joy, which Chandra has graciously showed us.
Well, so why is it okay? It's blurry because my background is blurred, but
I got you. I got you.
yes,
But yes, this is a book that I've both written and illustrated. It's a story that is essentially a celebration of joy and community and the power of music. So I would like to talk to you guys about this today.
let me ask you, right? What inspired you to pen this book?
So a couple of years ago, I had posted an illustration of a mermaid who is sitting very serenely on some coral. And the number one thing that I noticed when people would comment or quote tweet and of the like on that post across all platforms, the number one word that kept coming up over and over and over and over again was that my artwork brought them joy. And it wasn't just on that piece, but on a lot of the artwork that I would post in general, but this one specifically seemed to resonate with people online so much. And it was something that I had never really seen before. And given that I am someone who has had their career essentially
Yes,
built up by the internet, this is the it was my way of giving back, creating a story that encapsulated that joy that they shared that my artwork brought them.
I will say this because I listen. I when I don't have braids, I wear my fro.
Hmm.
So I was looking at it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love I'm smiling so much because just in reading it and looking at oh my gosh, it's you actually have like the sounds, like you could like when someone's reading it, you can actually say the sounds and it sounds like music. You have jingle jangle, shh, like it sounds like the actual instrument. So to me it was like perfect, and then you have the little octopus that have the little hair. Like I just going through it. Okay, can I tell you my favorite character in the book?
Sure, sure. You love the whale?
It's purple, and I just
I feel that. I feel that.
yeah, and I was like, oh, like I couldn't wait to say, like, you did an amazing job on this book.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And then one thing, like, I love seeing this display in children's books. And it makes me smile so much, like just reading it. And I'm an adult. I'm not gonna say how old I am, but
I
just
feel you.
yeah, it just makes me happy. Is this gonna be a coloring book?
I don't know that there are any plans for a coloring book just yet. I can pass some things along.
Thank
I can
you.
do that for you.
Thank you. It's not that, like, yes, I just throw my little bit in for
No worries.
so I will ask you, you have other books, but what made this book stand out the most?
Honestly, I think compared to all the other books that I've worked on, whether I've illustrated them or written them myself, I think the thing that stands out the most about sounds like joy honestly is the sounds. Um, I really put a lot of thought into how the book would sound phonetically when people would read it out loud, because something that I find in a lot of books is that a lot of times they're written with the perspective that an adult is reading to a child.
Right.
Um, and so, yes, it's like imparting a lesson for like the children in some shape or form, but I wanted to create a very fun reading experience for them as well, so that when they're reading this book, they can, you know, get a giggle or two out of a page, or two, or three, or four. Yeah, it's something that I really wanted to come across on this book, that it's a very fun read aloud experience, especially since I spent a lot of time thinking about how do you write sounds? How do sounds appear in words? I guess a really good example would be for the seahorse, because, I'd like seahorses have like a really long like nose. And so I
Yes,
thought, oh, like the seahorse can play it like a trumpet, it'll be great. And I sat down to write that page and I realized, how do you write the sound of a trumpet? How does that show up in letters and words? And so,
literally.
yes, yes.
It
So,
was singing. Yeah.
yeah, so I ended up doing it where, well, the seahorse had a case of the hiccups. And so it made bubbles instead, because that's a sound that like is very fun sounding when you
Yes.
make the sound of like bubbles, like blub, 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 blub.
Yeah. With me in here reading it, and I know like my children are adults, so them hearing me read this out loud, I know it sounded, you know, it is what it is. It's a great book. Just saying.
Yeah, yeah. Different audience, different
Yes.
audience.
And it's one of those things like you can't not smile when you read this book. You can't. Like you can't. And even I will say this, there's a detail in her hair, there's a comb. I just, you
I can hold it up. Here we are. Here we
it's
are.
such an amazing like as you created each character, what was the thought process? Like what did you like your imagination is because it looks like movement. So when you were creating these illustrations, especially with, well, y'all have to get the book because there's some, you can tell like they're moving, they're doing things like that. So what I will say this, the crab, like
Hmm.
what did you like, how did you come up with each one of them are unique?
So I was going through trying to figure out, okay, if this is going to be a sound-based book, what kinds of sounds can we make under the ocean? What can we like leverage in terms of like existing animals and things? And so Um, one of the ones that didn't make the cut that a very special someone in my life is still very upset with me about was a snapping turtle. Because that would make sense, like a turtle that snaps. Because snapping turtles is like an actual animal.
Yes,
But what I found out over the course of researching for the different animals for the book was that snapping turtles are
the
freshwater
freshwater.
creatures.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So So it was a lot of like trial and error of like looking up, okay, well, what kinds of ocean animals make interesting sounds? Like I know I went through and I listened to what a, a whale sounded like underwater, and that was a very wild ex listening experience. I'll
yes.
give it that.
They
Um,
sing, but in a different way. Yes.
yes, 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 yes. But it was lots of like looking into, okay, well, what are some animals that live underwater? What do they do? How can we, leverage the sounds that they naturally make? Like in the case of crab, because he has claws, it made sense for like it to be like castanets.
Yes.
Um,
Those
and
were
then with the octopus, like because there wasn't anything I could like use on it other than like his tentacles, I thought, well, what if they whooshed and swooshed? That
See,
would be interesting.
that's exactly what it sounded like to me. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, I just, this is right now. You can't help but smile when you even look at the cover when you read it. And I really, this is you are you're talented. You're like this. You can't help but smile.
Oh.
So quick question.
Mhm.
What would you? What would you? So when you were younger, you went to school for this. You went to, when you were younger, did you wish for or did you want to see more books like this with this representation when you were growing up?
So, in retrospect, I would say so. When I was a kid, I wasn't thinking that far. I was like, oh,
Right.
these are like, these are the kinds of people I'm seeing in cartoons and like,
Mhm.
movies and TV. A very different sort of people than you and I.
Right.
And so it was never a thought that crossed my mind until I got older and I
Mhm.
realized, oh, wait, maybe something's a little off here.
Yeah.
And as I looked back and as I started like learning to really appreciate my features and who I am as a person, I realized, wait, like when I was a kid, it was rough, but
Hmm.
kids now are still dealing with this sort of thing.
They are.
Yeah, so I would say in retrospect,
Hmm.
yes.
Yeah, because I was like, and that's one of the things, even at my big age, I'm like, I wish, we had this, but I'm glad kind of like it brought us to a point where we're bringing these things and we're bringing this to the table so that the future, they will have these representation, but it's like, it's okay to wear your hair big. It's okay
Yes.
because I look back and this is what I did when I was going back, and I'm not comparing, but looking at the different ways that even the illustrations that were with, brown people, the hair was always straight when it was never in its natural state. So I love the fact that even though there was some quarter representation, but the hair was always the same. But to me, it's this stood out and it was authentic, and I
Well,
love it.
well, something that I make a point of doing in a lot of the books that I work on is that if our main character is someone who is as melanated as we are,
Yes.
that she have hair that's big and loud and that she wears it proudly. Just because growing up, I didn't really wear my hair like that. Yeah, I grew up in a Dominican household.
Hmm.
And so in a lot of Latino cultures, the word that we like to use is pelo malo or bad hair when in reference to like the new growth that comes in when like your relaxer starts to grow out a little bit.
Yes.
So for most of my life, I actually didn't see what my hair looked like. I didn't even know my hair could look like this ever because as soon as I hit like I want to say third or fourth grade, my mom was like, "All right, time to get a relaxer because this is a lot."
Yeah, you know what? And that's one of the things I think it's like sometimes they say, oh, it's a rite of passage or whatever,
Hmm.
but it was one of those things I never understood it. And my daughter, she has locks. She went through her
Hmm.
fro. I never chemically altered her hair.
Hmm.
And I had one teacher tell me that to do her hair when she was wearing her afro. And my daughter is very, very outspoken. She's 21 now. And
Hmm.
she said, "No, this is my hair." And
And
I
honestly,
said,
that's
"What?"
fantastic. That's
But
fantastic.
she's headstrong. She's different, but
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, that's really great. And I'm glad that like your daughter had that experience.
yeah.
Honestly, my personal hair journey is the reason why I wrote my very first children's book, which was called Stella Stellar Hair. And that one, I don't have a copy on me, but it'll be in the carousel below.
Yeah, I did add it. I did add it.
Yes. But that particular book was inspired by my own journey in learning to love my natural hair because I was in the process of growing out my chemically treated hair. And I realized that there were a lot of opinions because this was back in like 2014, 15, I'd say.
Oh my.
And like that was like the peak of like the YouTube natural hair movement.
Yep.
But there were still a lot of like opinions about my hair and how it needed to be done as I was growing out my chemically damaged ends. And so I wrote a book that celebrated Black hair in all of its forms. And that was my first book, Stella Stellar Hair. And it tells the story of a young Black girl who goes across the solar system to visit her 9 fabulous space aunties to get her hair did.
See, oh, the joys of going to the salon. It's different now. It's a different experience now that I'm okay. That it's a totally different experience because it's not going in, you're not dreading going in, you're going in with that, you're going to get it washed. It's going to be back to, it's
hmm
yeah. I I was looking at your body of work, right? And
hmm
your hands have touched some great stories. Like I was looking at them, I was like, it was more than I thought it would. Like more, it was like just putting your name in or looking at your website on what you've done.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I honestly didn't realize that I had made so many books until I had gone to do a book signing at Books of Wonder in New York City. They had pulled like as many books as they could from like the catalog of things I've worked on. And so
Yep.
that was the very first time on a table I had seen everything that I had done in one spot. And I was like, oh, I did do that.
You did like because I was like, oh, okay. And then you did it, and it's like you're inspired, you're touching so many people. And it's like just, I try to like I do read about who I'm gonna,
hmm
who I'm gonna interview and what they've done. And I couldn't help but to smile at those accomplishments. And now you're a toy maker.
Yes, I have a d degree in toy design. And
Yeah.
so I graduated from the Fashion Institute of Technology in 2014, I want to say. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So FIT is one of 2 schools in the entire country where toy design is available as a major. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's got a pretty low acceptance rate because there just aren't very many of us to begin with. But it is a job that I still presently do to this day, though, and at a much lower capacity because I'm working on books now too.
okay, so that's that is amazing. Like, listen, y'all, that is an option if you want to, but you see, there's not that many slots, so y'all get it together. Get it together, because I'm so proud of you, and I don't, I just think that is so amazing. Like what you've accomplished. And when I tell you all, I'm going to put the link to her website so you all can, keep looking at what she's doing and what she's done, and so you all can make sure you get her body of work because this is a must have, as we go upon our day, like back to school, kids are out of school here, but I really do think these should be in the libraries. This book should definitely be in the libraries, especially for music teachers. They can incorporate this book.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, girl. I oh, I can't help it. Like it's like one of those things, and it's been on my desk, and it's like I'm like looking at it, even down to her top, and then her fins. I think that's what's called here, her fins.
Yep.
You did, if you put the thought into it, and it's so coordinated, and it's so pretty, and it's so vibrant, and purple is my color. And I will say, like, there's like okay, I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all gonna have to get the book because I'm not showing y'all any more pages because you all have to get the book. But this should be an awesome back to school gift. This is a Christmas gift. This is a birthday gift. This is I'm just, girl. You really did an amazing job on this. So
Oh,
what can
thank you.
you share the unique things about you? I know you have two unique things that no one knows.
Oh, oh.
Fun facts.
Okay. Fun fact, fun
Mhm.
fact. Trying to think. What would be something fun for people to know about me that they don't already? Um, I do sew as a hobby.
Oh,
Yes, yes. And I know that for a lot of people that may or may not be that much of a surprise. Just because a lot of the time one of the things that people notice about me is my sense of fashion.
yes.
So I mean, maybe that's not too much of a stretch. Oh gosh, I gotta come up with something better.
Um, let's see.
I'm trying to think.
Oh, girl.
What is cool for people to know? I really like rhythm games, like the kind of arcade machines you find where it's like music based.
Okay, like bop it.
Honestly, I could play Bop It. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, oh, dance, whatever it's called.
Yeah, Dance Dance Revolution is a game like that. I
Yeah.
am not particularly very good at that one, but
Oh,
it
okay.
is in that same category.
Okay then. So
Yeah.
that's unique. Wow, sir. Okay. And you know what? What's your favorite borough in New York?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm biased. I'm from the Bronx.
Well, I mean, because it's like, yeah, you're from the Bronx, so yeah, that's gonna
Well,
win
I'm a
any
little
day.
biased.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. My brother lives in Brooklyn, so, but
That's far. You got to travel through Manhattan for it. This intra-borough travel is a lot.
I will say, yeah, New York is an amazing place. It's like a world within itself, so to me. So I love it. And okay, I'm sorry. Because I saw pictures of you, but actually, you, girl, you did like literally you.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate
Yes.
it.
I cannot wait. When I come to New York again, I'm only 4 hours away. I definitely will have you sign my book. If
Oh,
you could do that.
I'll actually be at the Bronx Book Festival on June 21st.
Okay, then I have to put
So
that in there.
yeah, you can make it a day trip real quick.
I know I've done that before. I've done it before. I can do it again. That would be so awesome. If not, I'll send my brother to get me another book and get it signed. I have enough time for him to get it.
All
And one
right,
last
all
thing,
right.
you gotta give me
Sounds
a
like a plan.
copy. Yes. So, are there any other book events that you'll be doing this year, yet?
So my next one is going to be the Bronx Book Festival, which will be located obviously in the Bronx in Fordham Plaza. I don't have an exact time for when my scheduled event is just yet, but be on the lookout for it soon on my social media. I
Okay.
will also be at the American Library Association conference in Philadelphia this year. And so I am going to be an exhibitor in the Artist Alley. Table, ooh, blanking on the name at on the number at the moment.
It's okay.
But
I'm gonna get it. I'll get it, the information, because my sister lives in Philly.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
have to make sure she comes in and come see you.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's just one of those things like I can't even stop smiling because you're sharing your gift with everyone. And I tell people whenever someone writes a book, they're leaving their words and and you're leaving your illustrations for, there's books that we're reading from the 1800s. So if you think about it, you're leaving your legacy with
Oh, oh.
every book you write. So think about it, a hundred years from now, we're going to be looking at your,
That's a little wild to conceptualize for me right now.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Just think about it. Like we're reading books from, so long ago. And it's like, I tell people if you want to leave a piece of you forever, put it in a book, you know? Because it's one of those things. I have books everywhere right now. I would show you, but they're like everywhere. But yes, I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I like, it's one of those things like books are my thing. I love them. I love seeing, but this one makes me smile so much.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. Thank you.
So you want to drop your social handles for me so that when I post it, you can tell everybody where to come find you.
Sure, sure. Me out the zoo.
Yes. So you all please, please, please follow her on social media and also, click the link, buy the books, share the books. I'm going to go ahead and bother the people at my library here at Rappahannock Central Library and get them to put it on the shelves. I'm gonna bug them until they do it. So, but yes, thank you for talking to me. I look forward to talking to you again soon because I know you're gonna have more coming up.
Yeah, yeah. We'll
Yeah.
talk soon.